We are now going to be looking at geometric series. Yesterday we looked at geometric sequences, which, remember, sequences are just a list of numbers. Series is when you add them all up and get one answer. So with geometric, we have this formula. Again, you don't have to memorize it. The main thing with this one is you have to put all the parentheses into your calculator or you're going to get it wrong. It's essential because it's fraction. We've got all these things. You're dividing by two things, so those have to be in parentheses. The parentheses are going to stay up here on the board, and they're also on the formula sheet, which comes with the test, but don't forget any of them. So slowly put it in so that you can get your one answer and you can guarantee that it's correct. So the three things that we need for the geometric series formula is the number of terms, the common ratio, in the first term. So in this example, they give us everything that we need. In the book, they would just give you this, and I've explained exactly what each of those means. So when you see n equals, that's how many terms. R obviously being common ratio, and T1 being first term. So we're going to practice getting this in your calculator. That's the hardest part about this. So if you could all grab your calculators and get those ready. All right, so let's first write it on your paper so that we are all typing in the same thing. Our first term is 1. There's always a 1 minus, and then in parentheses we put the ratio, and it's raised to the number of terms, and you're going to take 1 minus the ratio on the bottom. So everyone punch this in.
Should we use the divide sign or would it be anything?
Use the divide sign for right here, not the fraction button. What are we getting? Everyone else? Same? Okay. Questions on that? Let's try a couple more. All right, so this is in sigma form. Remember, sigma just means to add up all of the numbers. So I will rewrite the formula here so that we're knowing what we're looking for. Okay. What is the first term? How do we find it? How would we find the very first number in this list of numbers? What do these numbers right here mean? Do you remember? Yep. What did I mean in that previous section when I said start and end? It has to do with the first term and the last term, but the first term won't be 1. What do we do with the 1? We put it in to the formula. To find the last term, we would put the 8 into the formula, but for the sum formula for geometric, we don't need the last term. We just need the first term. So if we put a 1 right here, the exponent becomes 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So this is really 4 times 1, which is 4. So our first term is 4. Now with sigma, when it's written this way, notice that this formula right here is the formula that we learned yesterday. So yesterday, this was our formula right here. We had A1 ratio n minus 1. What were these two items here? What is this? First term, and what is this? the ratio. So what should we put here? The ratio, which is 1/2. So 1/2 goes here, 1/2 goes here. The only thing we have left is how many terms we're adding up. So if you look at the sigma, if we're starting at 1 and going all the way up to 8, how many numbers is that? 8. We put in 8 here. Okay, so practice putting this one in again. It gets a little bit more difficult only because we have fractions within a fraction. So slowly type that in with all the appropriate parentheses. And let's see if we can all get the same answer. Anyone else? 7 point what?
9.7.
Okay. Questions? All right, this is a review from yesterday. This isn't a sum problem. We're just trying to find a 1. So this is a little bit of a review. So remember, anytime you see this, we're talking about the last term. This is your common ratio. And this is the number of terms. And we're looking for the first term. So we're going to use yesterday's formula, okay, which is right here, and solve for A1. So we have that formula, and we put in everything they give us. We know the last term is 1024. We don't know the first term. We know the common ratio is 8. And we have n as 5 minus 1. So what would we do first? Eight to the 4th. Okay, what is that? And then there's one step left. Are we going to subtract or divide? Divide both sides. Which is what? How much? Any questions on that? So there may be a situation where you have to find the sum, but in order to find the sum, we need the first term. So that's just a review on how to find it if you have a situation like that. Questions? All right.